We are back on Project Motor Racing. It's a bit bigger so I can see you guys. Yeah, so I feel it would be helpful to do a stream day before release, go through a load of stuff, see what's working, see what's not working. Just as always, be brutally honest. I said at the Sim Racing Expo, I don't think this game is going to be for everyone. I'm even more certain this game is not going to be for everyone. It's a Marmite game. Some people are going to absolutely love it because some people are going to love tinkering settings, and some people are just going to be like, this is broken. And I don't think either perspective is wrong. However, I think it's far more likely if I take an average person from my 120,000 subscribers, they're more likely to be like, this is broken. Because what we do on this channel is a lot of racing, wheel-to-wheel racing. When I go on Gran Turismo, I'm not spending time doing setups. I'm just jumping in. So that's kind of my perspective at the moment. Also, the cars handle wildly differently. And I get this feeling that the development philosophy has been, oh, well, of course they handle differently. You have to set them up first. And I think from a philosophical perspective, that, again, runs counter to a lot of people, including myself, where I would like everything kind of nicely set up so I can just get going, especially when I come back from work and I've got a bit of time in the evening. I don't have the luxury of spending ages setting up something because I'll run out of time and I won't get any racing done. However, there are also going to be people who love it. So that's how I would explain it. It's definitely not before the Sim Racing Expo, I didn't know whether it was just going to be like a really sort of very easy game for console players with no depth. But it's certainly not like that. There's a lot of depth. I just feel like the level of depth is going to be off-putting. It's a bit like let's say you go to some tropical island somewhere and you book an excursion to go in a boat, like out, from the coast. It's a bit like Project Motor Racing. You go on this boat, and then when you're off the coast, they're like, right, here's all your scuba diving equipment. We're going to scuba dive now down to this wreck, and it's going to be incredible. You're going to see barracudas and like everything down there. It's unbelievable. Versus there's another group who book an excursion. They go off the coast, and it's just like cocktails on the boat, and they look at the sunset. I'm kind of cocktails in the boat, dude. Some people, do you understand? So, that's how I would best explain this. Anyway, I'm lucky because I've got a very nice setup. That is all on sale, by the way. I didn't realise, but all of this setup is on sale at the moment, so I just did a video. Okay, let's see if anything's cracking on the old custom. No, nothing is cracking on the old custom. Let's see if anything's cracking on the ranked. No, nothing is cracking on the ranked. Let's see if anything's cracking on the social. No, nothing's cracking on the social. Okay, I'm going to choose a random... I also have another thought, which is that I have a feeling they really wanted to get pretty much every hypercar and GT3 in here. Maybe for the IMS license, I don't know. And I have a funny feeling some of them have had far more development time than others. Let's drive the AMG because I kind of struggled at this at the Sim Racing Expo. So we'll do it at Northampton. We'll do it on a circuit that I drive in real life. And we'll actually make the race multi-class as well. Because that'd be quite fun. Okay. Let's have a look at this. Welcome Bartman, welcome Wookie. Let me catch up. Welcome BTF, Diogo, Upstomp, Liam Felton, you're not too bad, thanks. Wookie, my rig should finally arrive tomorrow. They're hard to build. Which rig is it? Remind me. Some of them are, yeah, not simple to build at all. Welcome, Dan. New Lungs as well. Welcome, making the start. Welcome, Testament. Welcome, Vlatka as well. Yeah, hit that like button, everyone. On 12 likes, 100 people watching. Let's ramp up to 100 likes ASAP. I think we should go for 1,000 likes today. Why not? Oh, the prime light. Okay, so the prime light is this one. So this took me... I couldn't do it in one evening. It took me over 2 evenings. I do have a little scar on my finger where I cut myself putting the seat on. So if you don't cut yourself putting the seat on, you've done better than me. These rigs are no joke to build. You'll be an expert in the T-slot by the end though. Right, let's go into this quali. So, you know, I have a feeling that the Project Motor Racing people want you to be spending a lot of time here. I also got an email today. I got an email saying there's a setting that's been labelled miscorrectly called force feedback detail. That's been labelled miscorrectly. It should be 0 or something. The main one for me has been this headroom. For me, this is... I had a very dangerous... The default was very dangerous for me. So I put that back down here. And I've kept the gain at 100, limit it in the base. People say to me, why do you limit it in the base? Like, your hands are worth more than anything else. So... Welcome, Cyrus. It needs to be 8 AM tomorrow morning. Is that what time it is for you? Is that in US time? So I think it's like 1 PM in the UK. Vlacker in a housekeeping order. Thanks for Craig. I haven't had to go to the PS5 version. I can't activate my PS5 key. So I did email them. It's been the weekend, but it's not the weekend today. I'll chase them tomorrow. I'm not going to give aspersions on the PS5 build because I expect it to be different. Rennsport was very different on PS5. Do you think they ported over a load of content Project Cars? I think maybe some of the sounds and things like that. Eli, I've been catching a blocking review, looking to purchase my first sim rig. Is the Moza R3 worth it? The Moza R3 definitely is worth it. I mean, it's the entry point. Like, there's nothing lower than it really. I would say if you're going to save your money, save for an R9. I would skip the R5, to be honest. Daniel's got a Fantech Club Sport. That's a beast. That is a beast. I built that one by myself. That one is a beast. I say that it's a beast of a cockpit, but it's much quicker to build than this one. I don't know if you got it in the white or the black, but it looks good in white. Is the game worth buying? Well, we'll play it. You can make your mind up. In fact, let me know what you think. GT Mega Sprint took about 3 hours. There's just a lot of time on the floor. Eli, bearing in mind saving 100 to £200 makes a big change in your lifestyle. Then get the R3 and feel good about it. Isn't it £279 at the moment from Argos in the UK? Welcome, Pudding. Haven't tried the Praga mods. Wookie's got the RS50 confirmed. It's amazing, very nice. Dan's playing this tomorrow. Oh, there you go, Jamie. Oh, you got the white. You got the white one. Nice. We'll jump into some hypercars as well. Getting a nice gear jolt there. So this car felt very understeery at the Sim Racing Expo. But then I span at that corner, if you remember. Oh my goodness, that's so unusual, man. The way to explain it is that things happen to the car's doing things that is just not being translated in the force feedback in a uniform way. And so again, I feel like if you buy this game, you could really enjoy it, but you could also really not enjoy it. It's been one of the most interesting previews that I've ever done on this channel because it's so wildly inconsistent. Good to see the hypercar look up there. Like there, like nothing. This feels very similar to the Sim Racing Expo, this AMG. Like I don't. The front end is doing things that I just have no control over, and I can move the wheel a lot, and nothing really happens. So I think this is a GT3 that just. I know people will say, "Oh, the tyres are cold," but I should still be able to feel like I can do crazy things with the wheel. This is where we spun. I'm driving very much visually at the moment. I'm not driving through the force feedback. Let's try and warm up these tyres without taking out the Valkyrie.
5 minutes left in the session.
And sometimes it's hard to warm up some of the tyres as well. It's my fault, really. I might say that, don't have a radar. Oh my days. Let's go into quality.
Have you got some tricks up your sleeve?
I've driven this AMG quite a lot in different. This is not this AMG is not. If the first thing you do is jump into this AMG, I really don't think it's a. To me, it almost feels like. And I did have a good experience in the BMW M4 I can drive 100%. And the hypercars do remind me a little bit of Le Mans Ultimate at the beginning, where I remember I was like, oh, I can drive hypercars from iRacing. And then I go into Le Mans Ultimate and I go into Les Combes at Spa, I hit the brakes and the back end just comes round. So it does remind me of that. And we had a good experience in the hypercar. I think the Cadillac was really fun to drive on a previous stream. But just I have a funny feeling that almost the modern cars have been done by a different team or something. And they wanted to get in a full. I might be completely wrong here, but it wouldn't surprise me if they wanted to get all of these cars in. They had to get all of these cars in for launch. And some are more developed than others.
Yeah, good start. Remember to keep the nose clean in turn 1.
Yeah, I do like in the free play. Oh, I got limit on. I like in the free play you can just jump into anything. It's not go. Oh, that's my bad.
You've got a track limit violation.
It's not hidden behind anything. Do you see competition in this game? What do you mean competition? So you see my tyres are very cold, but everyone's tyres are cold. So we'll drive like they're cold as we should. Remember, the AI will be on like different kind of physics as well, so it's going to be fun doing online races where all your tyres are cold with players. That'll be fun. TC6 ABS 8, by the way. Welcome Caesar, welcome Roland. Do I recommend PMR? Honestly, I just it's better to. I think it's better to wait till tomorrow and see. There's some kind of embargo on numerical reviews. I must be like too young for all this because I don't pay attention to numerical reviews at all. I think they're nonsense. I think it's absolute nonsense to give like Battlefield or you know, like iRacing a numbered score. But I think that does mean that there will be lots of review, maybe more print, or digital stuff. I see my editor, Ross, has been for my newsletter. It's been alright. Okay, so the tyres are getting warmer now. Never really ever driven a GT3 like this before. Do I think they'll fix issues for tomorrow? No, I don't, because I think it's a philosophical thing. I think for me, it's an issue that the force feedback is on a per car basis. But I think I could totally understand it from a developer perspective. That's not an issue. That's a feature, not a bug. So it's not. No one's aligned on what needs a fix or not even. You know, there's no radar in this. I totally get it from their perspective. They're like, oh, in the real car you don't have a radar. We're a sim. So I totally get it. But I'm not placing. I'm not. If I pre-ordered this game, right, and I was watching this stream right now, I would not place much currency on things being that much different tomorrow. I'm sorry, but it's just very easy to say things will be fixed tomorrow, and we don't even know what should be fixed and what shouldn't be. For example, one thing I've said before was I don't think this throttle indicator should be the same colour as a brake indicator. That's just insane to me. To me, that's a very, very, very easy fix in the code. Extremely easy. I have no confidence that will be fixed tomorrow because it's not even agreed with anyone that needs fixing. So. In fact, why don't we make it easier? If you let me know in the chat, what do you think the fixes should be? I just don't. I'm not getting on with this car at all. What we'll do is we'll jump straight in the M4 after this. And it's honestly not that. I just have no real connection with the car, with the front of the car. That stuff happens visually with no force feedback. Am I exhausted? Hopefully not. There's no reason I should be exhausted. Let's get in the M4. Cyrus says, I think people underestimate how quick this game can be awesome with the modding portal. Yeah, but again, I don't. Who are these modders? Who are these people? Are they lined up with mods ready to go? How are they incentivized? Like, I think it's great. I think it'd be a bonus. And I think it's fantastic there's a modding portal. Don't get me wrong. And it's one of the big criticisms I had of Receptacles at EVA. They were like, we're going to lock down modding. And I said, guys, the major success of Receptacles was because of modding. You're going to need to change that. And I said, I made a video before launch saying they need to change this. And I got a lot of comments like saying, why are you destroying the hype? Why are you destroying the hype? And a few months later, they changed it. Welcome, Nezzy. Eli, to me, it looks like a lot of the cars crab sideways. Honestly, anyone who's been watching the streams, including today, I want to. If you're buying this game, got a pre-order, I want to hear from you tomorrow. I want to hear from you the days after to let me know whether I got it right or wrong. Also, there's nothing wrong with people having pre-ordered this game. Like, we all, you know, work hard for our money, and then we want to spend it on things. I came to Silverstone recently. I was standing on this balcony because I spent money to drive cars here. So we all spend money in different ways, and there's nothing wrong with pre-ordering this game. You know, it doesn't need to be kind of like the messiah of the world. It's just a video game. Right. Let's try the M4 now. Can I drive the Viper? We'll go through quite a few cars. Cyrus got Season 1 pre-ordered, nice. Stormtrooping is in, yeah, I mean, but everyone's different, you know. To some people, the money for the game is just worth it's going to be fun either way. For some people, like there was someone earlier in chat said, you know, £100 is really. I think that I don't want to misquote, but someone in chat earlier said £100 is really important for my quality of life. So therefore, that's a much more different decision. Already, this car just feels a lot nicer. And the tyres are cold. Whoa, 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 whoa. But I can feel what the car's doing. Yeah, I think I've watched with some amusement. I've watched with some amusement these things happen. I watched Rensport get closer to launch, and I saw comments on my channel like Rensport's killed GT7. It's over for GT7. I was like, the game hasn't even come out yet. You don't even know what it's going to be like. The game comes out, and then the consensus very quickly goes to like panning it. I think almost like a little bit like a herd mentality. I think there's quite a few positives in Rensport that have been completely swallowed up by the negativity because the expectations were just ridiculous. Like I think even thinking about Rensport in the same breath as iRacing is silly. I was always thinking about it, is it going to be like GT Sport 2? Anyway, so I saw all that. Then Assetto Corsa Rally comes out, and it's in my view, it's amazing. I have an amazing time. It's really fun. And I'm like, hang on, this could be my game of the year. And people are like, what? A small portion of people are like, what? Game of the year? It's only got 2 areas. I'm like, yeah, it just works. The gameplay's so fun. You want to keep doing these stages. You want to explore all of the content in the game. It runs great on my PC. It runs great on my hardware. It's just a really fun thing out of the package. It's less than 20 quid. It's amazing. But then I think there was a lot of negativity about Assetto Corsa Rally. I didn't fully understand or follow. But I saw things were going negative. I didn't really get it. And then Project Motor Racing on the horizon. That brings it today. Like a lot of people who I think were vested in Rensport doing badly were like, yeah, Project Motor Racing is going to kill Rensport. So therefore, your colours are nailed to the mast. Project Motor Racing has to be a mad success. I think Project Motor Racing has a lot more content in it than Rensport, but it also is it's not a polished game. It's not a consistent game. This car is just, you know, it shouldn't be that much different to the AMG in my opinion. Maybe people will say, well, hang on, this is a BMW M4 G3. It's completely different to the AMG. In the world I come from, it shouldn't be that different. It's not like we've stuck the engine in the back or anything. But this, to me, I can actually drive it. It's quite a nice car to drive. The force feedback, I have feeling going into the corner. Whereas the AMG, I lose all force feedback. And therefore I can't push it. So I have no idea where I am compared to the limit. In and amongst all this, Gran Turismo announced Spec 3 and then the Power Pack, and I made a video saying, Gran Turismo, see, it's the king, they've listened, they're bringing what we want, new tracks, new cars, new gameplay, it's the king. And I get, again, a very small portion, it's to be said, but I get a small portion of them saying, Gran Turismo's dead, Gran Turismo's rubbish, and I'm thinking, Gran Turismo is such a polished game. They just keep missing open goals to give us more stuff to do in the game. Give us better daily races. You have everything there. Gran Turismo could be much bigger than it is if they increase the sport mode kind of potential. If they realise the potential, I should say. There'd be a lot more streamers playing it. It would have a big effect. I don't think that many streamers are actually playing Gran Turismo these days, in my opinion. So I've just kind of watched all this.
Session ends in 5 minutes.
Even that felt... It doesn't feel that precise when you get near the apex there. Right here, I'm getting some mad oversteer to the apex, and it's difficult to control it, but it's better than the AMG. Yeah, exactly what someone said there. Approaching the apex of the corner, you've got no tyre feel. And this is, if anyone saw my videos from the Sim Racing Expo, I was like, hang on a second, like I know I can drive, but I can't drive this. And I have a feeling it's very car dependent. And I kind of assumed at the Expo that the setup had been a bit curated for me, and they'd probably chosen the car on the track. Oh, bro, I just saw my lap, man. That's absolutely savage. That's absolutely brutal. But I think all credit to the developers. I think the developers have utmost confidence in their game and their philosophy. And I think it happened to be the cars I were driving were maybe not good cars. I love Gran Turismo, but wish it was on PC. Honestly, with what I'm seeing with games coming out on console, you can see why Gran Turismo stays on console, because it's just one platform, they know what to do.
Hard luck, mate. Some tough racing.
Alright, let's have a crack at this. People can't handle that G7 just works. When I've had a long day at work, okay, and I come back and I have some quick dinner, I can jump on, there can be 4 minutes to go to a daily race, I can do a quick lap, and I can be in a daily race, racing, and I'm in my groove. There's something to be said for that. I can't quite do that on iRacing, because iRacing requires more practice, for me anyway. But GT7, I know the combinations inside out, there isn't that much variety in the driving. So that means I can just get into the racing. And that's not for everyone, but it's certainly for me. You saw how much I played GT Sport during COVID, right? I was playing GT Sport every evening for multiple hours. Oh, be careful of my wheel here. So my game's crashed, but my wheel still has some force. Just going to leave it there. That's the second crash we've had, disappointingly. Yeah, there is a code. I have a affiliate with Instant Gaming, which has discounts on AC Rally, Le Mans Ultimate, all PC sims. I haven't really been pushing it, because I just like the fact that with Project Motor Racing, they just gave me a review key, and I'm just kind of like, I feel like I'm almost looking in. I've seen they sponsored some other creators, so some stuff will be paid from other creators. I've seen that Assetto Corsa Rally sponsored some stuff from other creators, so that's been paid. But I haven't been paid for this. I wasn't paid for Assetto Corsa Rally. So, yeah, probably after tomorrow I'll say, look, if you do want to get it now you can see everything, here's my link. The main link I'm spamming at the moment is please vote for me for Autosport Creator of the Year. This unbelievable opportunity. Right, we're back in the game. Do I have a discount code for Fanatec? No, I've got Amazon links there, which I think is the best price at the moment. Okay, let's just check custom again. Cyrus, G7 needs more realistic car classes. Yeah, I mean, the Project Motor Racing car lineup just is much better than GT7 in my opinion. In my opinion, it's just better. There's no VGTs here. I don't really care for the VGTs, but I don't mind them when they pad out a class. But let's be honest, how much padding is there in GT3 and GT4 with fake cars? I don't even care that much. I'll drive that like FGT, and I'll drive the RCZ Group 3 because I drive an RCZ in real life. But when you get in all the VGTs and the hypercars and like, I don't really care. Okay, speaking of which, let's do a hypercar now. Let's do hypercar at Spa. So, just, you know, classic combo. Should be classic combo. Okay, hypercars. We have driven the Cadillac. We've driven the Peugeot. We've driven a 963. Let's drive the... it says Beta. Don't know why it says Beta on it. But let's drive the Lamborghini. Such a shame with this car. I went to Jerez and I saw this car. It's incredible. Okay, and let's again just do a multi-class. I like the fact I can just do multi-class. I really like this. This is awesome. That's great fun. Jacob, thanks for reading my comment. You seem like really experienced with all those games. Waiting on GT is not a sim. GT is a sim. GT is a sim. It doesn't simulate. It compromises on simulating certain aspects to keep the racing closer. In my opinion, it's pretty simple. GT Sport. There was basically. Am I correct in like there was no dynamic time of day in GT Sport? Right? There's no dynamic time of day. Often there was no dynamic tyres or fuel. So it's a purely static sim designed for the closest racing. And GT7 simulates a bit more, but you know. Whereas here, there's probably a lot more being simulated. Right, let's see what this hypercar's like. I've had this issue in the pits before, where I come out and the car wants to tilt, the steering wheel wants to go to the right. GTM would like to call a hybrid. Welcome, Lee. Yeah, the game was quite small. But it did mount as a disc or something. I mean, who cares if it's a sim or not? It's like, I mean, honestly, I really like this conversation. This is like me being down at the pub, and we'll talk about, you know, when I go like before the West Ham match, we'll be like, oh yeah, you know, should we play Arnautovic or not? And oh no, we can't play him in this formation. So like, this is the equivalent of that. Like, is GT7 a sim or not? It's just really fun conversations. It amuses me that some people get so worked up about it, like, ah. But I think it's a good conversation.
You're clear.
Bro, don't put me in the wall, bro. Brother. Let's warm up these tyres. To me, by the way, this sound is terrible. I don't know if this is how the real Lamborghini sounds, because I was walking around it when it was in a garage. Like, this sound would actually annoy me. The way I described it earlier. Also, I'm not bad at describing sim racing games. In fact, I think I'm pretty good. Like, I should be pretty good. When I go like this, I lose a lot of force feedback in the middle. So it's not like a a progressive feeling, and you can imagine what it's like going through a Scari like that. It's very hard for me to see where cars are. Like, I can put the relative on, but the relative is pretty silly because it only shows one car ahead and behind. I don't know why that is. Again, is that something that should be fixed? Certainly feedback I have. Right, tyres should be pretty much up to temps.
This your quali lap. Make it count.
I would say pretty much every car feels better once the tyres are up to temperature. So that to me again feels like a deliberate philosophy, like iRacing back in the day. Oh my god, am I way off the braking marker there? There's definitely moments where you feel like you lose connection with the car. Also, there's no right answer on force feedback anyway. As I've said quite a few times now, when you're driving a car in real life, sports car, racing car on a track, you're getting so many sensations from what the car's doing through your body, through the inertia, with your peripheral vision, through the visual cues, and the steering wheel. You don't want to get a lot through the steering wheel because you want to be able to make fine movements in the steering wheel. We're sat in this sim. You know, my active pedals aren't doing anything, so the only dynamic input I have to give me force feedback from the sim is through the steering wheel, through this axis, and there's very different opinions on how much you should put through there. For example, I've spoken with Logitech at length on camera. I've said to them, you know, true force I think is a game changer, but I don't think it's super realistic. I think a lot of the sensations you get through true force, you don't get through the steering wheel in real life. No track limit there. Let's try and brake properly for Lake Eve and actually have a proper crack at it. Oh, speaking of true force, I don't know about true force actually. They say full force should be in. This is quite a good experience here. For me, there's a little bit too much kind of oversteer when you get on the power, but I've never driven a hypercar in real life, so I don't know if they're that pushy. I can imagine with the hybrid, maybe this one is. Don't seem to be getting recharged much. See, my tyres are nicely up to temperature now. That's something massively different, by the way. Probably no one's spoken about this. Massively different. That I don't care if people are going to turn up their noses to this, because some people are going to interpret it a different way. But so I'm not saying whether this is positive or negative yet. But factually, in Gran Turismo 7, there is no concept of warming up your tyres. And trust me, I tried this. I modded the game. I got the tyre temperature to show up on screen. There's basically no benefit to warming up your tyres. It's alien concept. So you can do the same. Similar maybe in Rennsport. These games where you start qualifying, you know, like it just puts you like a corner behind the start-finish line. There's no issue with warming up your tyres. Project Motor Racing is not like that. Project Motor Racing is actually more like iRacing in that regard, where you need to warm up your tyres. And also, it's not putting me out in qualifying a corner behind the start-finish line, which again I think is philosophically very interesting. It shows that they're not willing to compromise on the fun aspect there, and save people time over it being a simulation. And that's why I think probably the radar, they must have discussed it and been like, we're not going to do a radar because we want to keep it like a sim. Maybe they got some bad memories from Project Cars 3 on pit stops and such.
Session start. I can flag this lap.
So it doesn't even. Oh no, it is auto driving. It is auto driving. It's interesting that it's even auto driving. I feel like that auto driving is against the philosophy of it. So let's say, for example, if we're as favourable as possible to the developer and the publisher, etc., and let's say that the cars actually handle fine. I don't think this is the case, but let's say that the cars, all of them, handle fine when the tyres are up to temperature. I feel like that needs to be messaged so strongly, right? It needs to be messaged so strongly that there is no point trying to drive a car before you've done at least 2 laps. Because that is an alien concept to people on Gran Turismo. So I spent some time in Gamer Moss Room. It's the only other content I've seen on Project Motor Racing. I think with Gamer Muscle, you have to remember, Gamer Muscle's a bit insane in a nice way. He's a full-time YouTuber. He has had the luxury, I'm assuming, of spending Friday, Saturday and Sunday, I'm guessing pretty much all day on Project Motor Racing. Like, that is more time than most people will be able to spend over a couple of months, right? I don't know how many hours he's put in the game, and it's all credit to him. It's great, it's fantastic. But my point is that if the game is better after, I don't know how many hours, 20, 30 hours or something, most people are not going to get to 30 hours. And most people are not going to be sim racing real experts like Gamer Muscle. Alejandro, I know Tom would most want to review. Well, I don't do reviews, so I don't think I'm going to change any content. The only thing I've been told not to do is give it a numbered score. I guess because they want all the numbered scores to come out on the same day. I don't know. I don't see anything. I don't actually see anything like a conspiracy about that. But I think the game, like I said at Expo, I enjoy driving the game because it's challenging. Like, I enjoy the fact that I've jumped in this Lamborghini and I'm like, oh, actually that handles a lot better than the Porsche, than the Valkyrie. Right, the Aston Martin I just couldn't get on with, and we were a bit disappointed by the sound as well. I like that. I'm doing this on stream, there's 400 people watching, but I know that the vast majority of my subscribers who I owe this channel to, I owe the fact I'm sitting in this bucket seat with the Simucube and everything, don't have that amount of time. So I think I think I called it right, this one at the Expo. I think it's a spectrum. Some people are going to enjoy it, and some people are not going to enjoy it. Just be what Dave Camp said. I don't think I've ever seen a Dave Camp video, so I don't know what he said. What I hear, the mods are submitted to developer. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll want to encourage mods and stuff. John Edwards, hello from Australia. Having raced V8 Sports Sedan, there is no feel in the straight ahead, but they have to do something for this game. What you're saying is that when you're going down the straight in your V8 sedan, you don't feel anything through the wheel, but you feel bumps and stuff in your seat. But it's not the wheel. But in sim racing we have this compromise, and I speak about this a lot. Like, for example, this wheel here, right? This is an Asher Artura GT4. This is the official. This is the same wheel that's in the McLaren Artura, except I'm not sure these funky switches are in the real car. And the reason being, these are a compromise for sim racers, because in sim racing we have to go through black boxes to change our fuel and our tyres and everything. But in real life you don't do that, because you have a pit crew who are doing it. So this is one of the compromises that we make. Does this mean it's less of a sim wheel? No, this is one of the ultimate sim racing wheels, because it is the wheel in the real car. Same with the VPG ones. But it's the same with with the way force feedback works in sim racing, which is there has to be some compromise where it's not ultimately realistic, because we're not getting all the same sensations through our body. Did they fix the hypercars? What do you expect to be fixed? What's broken? I wonder if Rennsport end up better. I think both Rennsport and Project Motor Racing would be in a very different place in a year. And also, neither of these companies can release a game and be like, oh, you know, we're releasing it a little bit early, you know, but it'll be really good in a year, because no one's going to buy it at full price if you say that. So whatever the state of the game, the developers are going to be like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And I price that in. And I don't blame any developer for saying that. You know, they have to. Ghost just regarding radar, they originally discussed it and decided not to add it. Now they're going to add it in the radar some point post-launch. I would honestly actually prefer it. I don't know what the truth is, but if they decided not to add it, I would personally rather that I hear why they didn't want to add it, what the philosophy is, and why they're going to stick by that. If that makes sense. Because I want games to have a philosophy. Can you do a direct drive wheel setup video? Yeah, we'll do a Moza one. I think for December I might do a Moza R25 and R21 anyway. What's the best racing game? See, you said racing, sim racing. I'm definitely going to do a video on the Spectrum. Yeah, I played Rennsport. I played Rennsport on stage at the Sim Racing Expo. I raced Super GT and Jan Mardenborough and everyone. Right, let's go into this. Moza R16 or R12? R16. But isn't the R21 Ultra going to be similar price point to the R16 now? Right, let's have a look. Oh. Unusual. Apart from 2 crashes to desktop we've had over the weekend, including today, I have to say the performance of the game has been very good for me. Like, it's very, very, very smooth. And that's for streaming and recording as well. For me, I feel like they need to change the sound effects on the car contacts. They're too comedy for me. Some weird sounds going on in this car. James, don't do it. James. Oh, we've all gone off. I like that.
You've got a track limit violation.
Although I'm the only person who's got a penalty. Just didn't want to go off there. I've been massively upshifting all this time. Now the tyres are getting up to temperature, so try and push it. Just turn that TCS down a bit. Yeah, the sound sounds pretty glitched to me. They've both made the same mistake as previous, so it seems like maybe a bit of an AI bug. I would say that with the tyres warmed up on this car, I can drive it. I feel generally connected to this car. I don't feel like properly in it. Like whenever there's a left right or right left change of direction, I kind of lose it a bit. But the braking's pretty good. That second bit of oversteer I couldn't really feel, but generally this is to me acceptable. That's probably quite a low. I'm probably understating it. It's quite fun. I'm guessing I've battered in his brake lights, or are no one's brake lights working? There must be a place somewhere I can get a damage update on my car. So bright. Oh my god. I actually think, given how the AI drives, that one was completely my fault. But given how the AI generally almost ignores you, I feel like it's even more necessary to have an AI, have a radar, because the AI don't seem to want to change path to avoid you. Really want to try and catch up with this pack. It's a little bit more oversteery there than I would expect. I would expect the car to start to get more understeery, but it feels like as the tyres get to temperature, maybe I haven't overheated them yet. I remember doing on a set called Evo. Remember I used to do the cup car races on this channel with no ABS and no TC, and do you remember it was just a challenge to see could I like do the race without getting a puncture for overheating the tyre. Back of me. I can't. I don't want to lock up. I don't want to lock up. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good in that Lamborghini. This is the cover car of the game, and it has been for a while, right? So let's jump in a different hypercar. Let's jump in a different one. Let's jump in the one that says beta on it and see if it feels wildly different. Driving here looks very, very much enjoyable. Ah, thank you very much. Right, let's jump in the Alpine. And let's see. Is there a track map? Yeah, it's on the... you might not be able to see it. It might be kind of covered by my... camera. So actually, interestingly, there's quite a bit of downshift protection. If you look back, if you focus in on my left hand, you'll see quite a few times I'm trying to downshift faster, but there's downshift protection. So before you maybe make yourself look silly, have a look back. Because definitely into Lake Coombe, I'm trying to shift down faster. Okay, let's go in the Alpine then. God, that's a horrendous field of view. We roll with it. We move. I can barely see. I mean, it's mainly sealing this car.
You're clear.
Sounds a lot better. I like this. So right now the steering feels a lot heavier than the Lambo, and this is why I feel like it's the pneumatic trail or something. It's like I feel like I can feel the tyres kind of standing on their edges, which is quite nice when I do that. More than other sims. Thing is that no one can say that this game has the best or worst force feedback, because force feedback is, there's no singular answer. It's like saying, oh, what's the best religion? What's the best force feedback? It's like that you can't really, do you know what I mean? What's the best country? I actually think this car is more enjoyable to drive than the Lambo. I'm really enjoying this. This is so far one of the best cars I've driven in Project Motor Racing out of the box. And if there's developers watching, they're probably wincing because I haven't immediately spent 5 hours in the car setup menu changing the force feedback individually. But I can tell you, 90% of people, 95% please, I mean, a lot of people can do this on pad anyway, on the console. But the vast majority of people are just going to be jumping in and driving. And this feels quite nice. Feels like I can actually lean on the tyres. I really like it. Let's go into the race in that. This is my favourite hypercar yet, and that's on the first lap. What's the flashing? I don't know. I can see there's some like flashing going on. I don't really notice it when I'm driving.
Not ideal, mate. There's going to be a mess in front of us. I hope you're ready for it.
Welcome, Matt. Can you remove one of the top mirrors? Yeah, I probably should. I think I've done. In fact, no, I don't think you can move the virtual mirror because I wanted to. Can you use the stick or arrow keys? I really hope you can. I would assume you can. Nervesy, I feel they may have cooked up a radar over the weekend. I'll be amazed. Honestly, if they've cooked up a radar over the weekend, I'll eat my hat. Okay? Now, just to be clear, I will have to buy some, like, licorice hat or something. But I will actually eat my hat. Because I don't believe... I remember Le Mans Ultimate. I gave feedback on Le Mans Ultimate very early saying this needs a radar. And it took ages for the Le Mans Ultimate radar to come. But when the Le Mans Ultimate radar came, it's one of the best radars out there. In fact, I'm probably the only sim racer who's done a YouTube video on the best radars in sim racing. So I think I'm pretty well placed on the hat bet. I've got a feeling I'm going to get on with this car. How's there a GT3 ploughing through here? Ah, I hit the limiter. I meant to look right. That just makes me sick doing that. This is, by the way, this is why it's unrealistic to not have a radar, okay? Because in real life, I could move my head and look at the mirrors. But given this game isn't in VR, it's impossible for me really to look at the mirrors. So therefore, I need a radar to make it more in a holistic sense, reflect real life. Also, when I'm karting, right? When I'm karting in real life, I don't have a radar, but I could at any moment, I could draw a radar in my mind because I can feel the other cars around me, I can hear them, the ones ahead of me I can see. So I could probably have a decent radar, kind of like, I could draw it up at any moment in time. So I don't feel like a radar's unrealistic. It's making up for the limitations that we have, like not having a pit crew, which is why we have funky switches. Okay, so for anyone who's picking up this game, I recommend, out of the box, the Alpine. I feel connected with this. Doesn't seem that fast though. Am I wrong, chat, or is this like much slower? So I don't think I'm driving much worse, hopefully, than previously. Yeah, I can tell you, if you look at my videos on the channel when I was doing the Mazda racing... Oh, there we go. Let me get out of here. My videos when I was doing the Mazda racing, there's so much... Obviously, that was a... there was no top on the car, just roll cage, but there's so much. You can see... You know, when I'm overtaking someone, I can see all of them like this. I'm just like... And I can see like the gear change, and then I'll go a bit faster ahead of them. Okay, that was quite nice, but let's keep rotating through. I want to find a bad one. I want to go back in the Valkyrie. I think the Valkyrie I've just never got on with. Is there ERS, DRS? I'm assuming the hybrid takes care of itself, but the Valkyrie doesn't have hybrid, right? Right, let's see the Valkyrie. Did I change FFB settings and car setup? I didn't change anything in car setup, but my FFB settings I have changed. They did send it after my first stream. They sent me a document, a 2 or 3 page document, and the one I was most interested in is that this is really important. This is really important if you buy this game and you've got a powerful direct drive wheelbase. I firmly believe this headroom value should start at the minimum. Because it says in the force feedback guide that you increase it to increase the violence of impacts. But warning, it may become too violent. Well, I think at default for me it was too violent. So that's what I have there. Right, let's have a look at the Valkyrie then. Upsall says that adding radar. I'm sorry, I'm too long in this game. Like, I don't think you can make a decision over a weekend that you're going to add radar. I might be wrong, but to me that concerns me more than if they said, this is why we didn't add radar, and if I didn't agree with that reason. It concerns me more if they're like saying, oh, we're going to add radar. Because that almost, to me, shows a lack of clarity and philosophy and confidence in decision making. So, but I don't know. I don't know what the facts are. So, the dev said in the Discord. I don't honestly. That worries me more. That if a few days before release in Discord, I don't know if it's real or not. People saying they're going to add radar, because to me that sounds like just going to say anything that's going to make people happy. This reminds me of before Assetto Corsa Evo went into early... Wasn't it like January 14th or something, Assetto Corsa Evo? The hype on it, like the shilling, oh my god, was just unreal. Talking about free roam and everything. It was just a mess. This game is going to fix your life. It's like, no. So that's my perspective. I don't think a development team can as a group or or whoever's leading it, who's managing production, can make a decision like that over a weekend. Do you know what I mean? It's too quick. I mean, I could have created some campaign on this stream to add a feature and got enough traction that it would be noticed. That, and I could have just done it for the fun of it. But would they say, yeah, we're going to add it? Because so. Right, here we go. I just tell it how it is, you know. I like this game, personally, but I have a responsibility for all the people that watch the videos and everything who trust me, because I've been lucky enough to build up expertise in sim racing equipment and sims, and I'm able to honestly say this is how it is and save you a load of time. So that's my most important consideration. See, cold tyres, yeah, for sure, but there's already like a lot more loss of force feedback when you come off loading the tyre. That's not that unusual in sims, because normally you can change that at a global setting. But I feel here what's doing it is in that's fine as well, in a car setup or the car FFB. I'm pretty sure my brake, I don't know where there's my brake bias, okay. But I do that in hypercars a lot. I lock like that, so. It almost feels like this car has an awful lot going on at the rear. Which is to be expected. There is an awful lot going on at the rear. But this is a million miles away from the Alpine. Like the Alpine, I could come out the pits and just understand it. I'm nowhere near. It's like there's a whole chunk of force feedback. Let's go into the race. It's like there's a whole chunk of force feedback missing in the middle. And then people might say, oh, you need to do 3 laps to warm up the tyres. Like, it's quite difficult to do 3 laps on this thing. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think the electric gauge must surely just be because it's in the hypercar class. No worries, ESR. Have a look at the video I posted yesterday where I raced the developers and beat all of them. And then leave me a comment there on my driving skill. And then come back here where we're just trying all the different cars in the game to show as many different cars as possible on stream. It was strange with True Force 2. Friday said it wasn't supported, and then Saturday said it is. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I sense with the developers, having spoken with some of them, there's such a huge passion here, and they really want this to be a success, obviously, and it's almost like a boundless passion. Then you mix it in with some like promises that I'm like, I don't really, you know, I'm suspicious. Which clouds it a little bit, but I think there's some very passionate people there, and I feel like if they can actually just get the developers to speak more, do some developer diaries, I think that would be great. In fact, I would love to go and do interviews with the developers and ask them some questions I have and put them in YouTube. That'd be great. Would True Force make you buy an RS50 over an R12? Not sure. But in any event, the R9 is a much better discount than the R12. So, if your ESR is a clip shadow rating, no place for you to tell KIRETH'S about its driving, brother. Damn. Bro got evaporated in the chat. Okay. Oh was hoping this might sound better, but I guess we are in the cockpit. You can see there's so much happening at the rear. Like the tyres are cold. Oh, that's fun. Wow, that's really cruising it in. Let's get these tyres warmed up. I mean, this has to get better, this handling for this car, as the tyres warm up. Otherwise, I don't understand what the car's doing. It's completely different to the Alpine. The Alpine is my baseline now of a car that's sort of out of the box. Tyres are getting up temperature. The Lamborghini, I felt a progression. I felt a progression on the tyres. And here again, there's a bit more force feedback coming in to the neutral. It feels more progressive now. So my hunch is very tyre dependent. Can't save it. Oh, I changed the brake bias in this car. Okay, so the Aston Martin handful, but again, from a gameplay perspective, having a car that's more difficult is good. It's like a more difficult level. Let's try another hypercar. Let's try the BMW. See how the BMW is. Yeah, that Valkyrie. But that again, that could be set up. Like, it looks like brake bias to me. Do you try and tune the car so not that snappy? I think the other cars have been fine. But again, I want, you know, some people are going to really enjoy setting up that car to make it drive well. I think the majority of people just kind of want to drive it. So it's a difficult balance. Gran Turismo 7 had this balance at launch, where they went more into the tuning. And if you remember, there was a big backlash. I kind of liked it. Remember that first daily race at Daytona? But then they took it back and they took away all the tuning. Interestingly, Iga Fraga, who I've raced against in Gran Turismo, just won Super Formula at the weekend, which is insane. I like the BMW so far. Sounds good. Force feedback feels much more nice and progressive than the Valkyrie. Really nice and progressive. Feels like the tyres are warming quite quickly on the left side. Turn down that TC a little bit, I think. Okay, tyres are up to temperature. This force feedback feels quite nice right now. Still a little bit snappy coming off the brakes when I lock it. This feels quite nice. I think when he says license, I think you probably mean the names, right? Now, it does worry me a little bit, like are those tracks going to come and say you've got to remove that from the game? This is nice, having multi-class here is nice. You know, you could have an hour-long session here and make it really feel like a free practice. I would love it if you could have 60 cars. I saw the CEO of Motorsport Games was tweeting today, and he dropped one, and he was like, I think he was throwing a shot, but he said, the Le Mans Ultimate engine handles up to 104 cars. I didn't want to... Right. Let's go into a race in the BMW. So right now, I would say that the Alpine just handles really nice out of the box. The Lamborghini, it's interesting how he's second here, but he's always been last previously. The Lamborghini gets better, so you feel like progressing it. The Valkyrie seems very difficult, but subject to brake bias stuff. The Cadillac we did this weekend felt really good, and the Porsche didn't feel great. And the Peugeot felt difficult, but the Peugeot feels very difficult in the Ultimate as well for me. Like in lower angles, the car appears to drift outwards rather than tipping in. How is the sense of weight transfer? How is the stream doing? Did we just drop some frames in? When you're connected with the force feedback, you can feel the weight transfer. But there's times where you're not connected with the force feedback. Remember the Lamborghini had that weird sound issue, I think. Crunch. It sounds like a punch, honestly. Two BMWs at the back. Is it? Yeah. So, for example, the AMG that I drove.
Track limit violation.
Let's go, bro. Let's go. The AMG felt completely disconnected. Come on, bro. Oh, my days, man. I think that shows a lack of testing everything as well, right? If we're honest. That's what we might represent, the lack of polish. Because that can undo everything. Like, even if this was handling perfectly and everything was perfect, like, that would prevent you from just having a good race. I think I've got damage as well. And I can't see the damage anywhere. But this car's very nice to handle. Sounds good as well. In terms of ease and setting up to track, oh, much easier than iRacing, much easier. Referencing how the hypercars feel to the sim, so on Le Mans Ultimate, you know in Le Mans Ultimate the force feedback is, for me, it's very grainy. You really feel in the force feedback. You feel everywhere in the force feedback. You know where you are with the car at all times. It makes driving the GT3s very easy compared to iRacing. Here, in some cars, like the Valkyrie, you just feel disconnected from your car and the road. Whereas here, with the tyres warmed up, this feels on par with Le Mans Ultimate, I would say. In a different sense, it's not as soupy and grainy, the force feedback. It feels more to do with maybe how the tyres are actually oriented. But this right here in the BMW, tyres warmed up, is good. I feel like I can push. I feel like I can push on the power. I feel like I can push on the brakes. And I want to push. I'm pretty sure I must have damage. Shame about that, because I think we'd have a fun race in the BMW, but I can see myself driving BMW hypercars. I'd also compare them maybe with the LMP2s in iRacing. Like, you know how the LMP2s in iRacing, you just... The LMP2s in iRacing, once you're there, you just feel that they're so easy to drive, right? You have a load of downforce, you know where you are. Like, LMP2s in iRacing, I drive my eyes closed. This feels like a LMP2 like kind of like connection right now. Wheel and cop is very easy. You go into camera setup, you press X. So that's not rocket science. You'll be able to do it. Okay, that's fun. Let's do some GT3s now. So I would say BMW's been the most fun. Alpine's quite safe, which is nice in a game where some cars can feel disconnected. The Lamborghini was quite good fun. The Valkyrie, no. No. That Valkyrie for me is very difficult to drive. Yeah, we'll do some pit stops. Right. Okay, let's go into GT3. So we've already on this stream looked at BMW. We know BMW. I like it. We know G3. Right, let's look at the Huracan. Let's look at the Huracan. Let's go to Monza. They're unlicensed Monza. So Monza at some point going to say, hey, you need to pay us. Are they going to say to me that I need to pay them? Honestly, I'm addicted already to doing the multi-class. Like, yeah, it just makes it feel more like a thing. Any words on patch notes? Day one patch? No. I'm sure they have a day one patch, because I'm sure they will have been, since they pushed it for submission, and certification, the way stuff works on console, I'm sure there'll be a huge load of stuff that's gone into day one patch. But what I'm talking about is stuff that's happened since Friday. I take everything there with a pinch of salt. Oh, my camera's off. It's overheated. You know what? I was thinking it's getting really hot as well. Let me... Look at that. The camera can't take it. It is hot over here. Sure. Right. The camera overheats. I need to get a new camera. I need to get a camera with a fan in it. Right, let's have a look at what the Lamborghini's saying. Ooh, interesting. The race logic? It's not blue for some reason. What do you think gets changed by day one? I don't know. I'm not counting on anything. I'm not pricing in anything on the day one patch. If that makes sense.
Hammer down now.
If I was to price stuff in for a day one patch, like if I was to say, oh, this game's going to be so much better on day one, that would be me, like as a supporter of a football club, being like, okay, we've lost all of our opening 3 games of the season, but I'm sure by the end of the transfer window we're going to be like absolutely flying. It's like, no, you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, we can try the Call of Duty 3. There's a little bit of aggressive turning. I think my camera placement is... just 1 second. In the middle of the corner. Probably right where the hands are. Feeling if I put my camera back, it will just be more normal. What's that? Oh, that's... Oh, that's weird. So I can actually see my helmet. That's annoying. Because I would actually quite like to be sort of around here. I think I'm doing it wrong though. I think I need to change field of view. Maybe like that. Bit wary to... So that must have been 55 or something. I might change this left mirror. Yeah. Always check your mirrors. Nice. Actually, I want it like that, don't I? Out of all these Sims, what's your favourite? Which Sims? Let me pretend to pit. That'll be a bit dangerous. Right, let's see what the Lambo's saying. Racing Sims. I think for me, iRacing, just with the special events, you know, Jimmy's 23 hours I just did, is unbeatable. Also in VR, it's just like the racing aspect is really good for me. I've never really got into Le Mans Ultimate online. I've done online racing in it, but I haven't hit it to the same extent. ACC, I did quite a bit of ACC online. Did all the videos on that. But I feel like with ACC again, I did Endurance and ACC as well. how you warm up the tyres, Pro Strap. It feels quite understeery. Not sure why. You see when I turn the wheel, like not a lot happens, but we're very cold on the fronts. I noticed as well that I was able to get a lot of rotation into this corner last time, but then understeering on the exit. It's going to be painful through here, I think, so I'm just going to understeer. Yeah. Let's warm up these tyres. Can't seem to warm that front left at all. Maybe it's just on braking. Waiting on triples and VR. Yeah, I'm not a triples dude, so that's not that relevant for me. But I am a VR dude. So I'm disappointed. Oh, that's painful, man. I don't know why we're quite so understeering.
Send it, mate. Don't leave any time out there.
BB's kind of crazy. 62. That 60 to front. The other thing is, in iRacing, and again, I'm not really comparing Project Motor Racing to iRacing, but in iRacing, you have different setups, like in the game, for each car. Don't you have them at each track as well? Like when you go into the setup folder, there's already stuff there. So I think it would be really nice to like have an aggressive setup for this car, have a save setup, and maybe work from there. How the hell are we first with that? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. With a full tank and a very, very sloppy lap. That worries me. Because maybe this car's like fast for the class or something. Brakes feel insane in this car. Like, it feels faster than the GT. It feels better than the GT3 on the brakes. Oh, I've been knocked back massively now. There we go. That's hypercars there, isn't it? Must be hypercars coming in. Please. Okay, let's go into the race. That's interesting. Yeah, it again became less understeery.
We're going to have traffic to deal with at the start of the race.
So I can see it being tyres. It's written on the windshield. What is? I didn't see it. P2. How do you fancy that, ESR? Doesn't sound much like a Huracan. Sliding here, sliding into the DMs, up into P10. We'll have a bit of that. We'll have a bit of that all day long. Yeah, so more understeery than it was at the end of our qualifying, which makes complete sense. Frustrating, but yeah. Is there a safety car? I don't think so. Understeer looks like a massive dead zone. I don't really like understeer full stop, so I'm used to in ACC getting understeer as I overheat the tyres, that's the thing. But here I'm getting mad understeer like on the way to warming up the tyres. You also get some crazy rotation shifting down, which I think is just going to be exploited. Like in Gran Turismo, I just exploit that by going down more gears than I need to, then shifting up on acceleration. This thing just absolutely eats braking zones. I could brake way later than that. Oh, escape road. I think that's fair enough because I got a... Didn't I get a wheel on the right hand side there? Try and chase this Alpine. Tyres feel good now. See, look at that.
You've got a track limit violation.
What? Sorry, what? Chat, can someone let me know where I got a 10-second track limit penalty? Please. Can someone let me know? Can anyone explain where I got a 10-second track limit penalty? I've been framed here. A little bit of understeer. Oh, did I have to slow? Did I have to slow? Okay. Okay, what did I get it for originally? Did I... Oh, I cut the corner at turn 1. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Alright, yeah, fair cop, fair cop. Fair cop. What did I get it for? Blatant abuse of track limits. Okay, understood. If I was a Formula 1 driver on the road, like, it's outrageous, that penalty, what? George, you've been given a 10-second penalty for track limits. I didn't cut the track limits! George, they say you cut the entirety of turn 1 and turn 2. and then just like heavy breathing. This Lambo's not bad. This Lambo's pretty good. I'm gonna have to rate every car in the game, honestly. It was waggling on the wheel there. It's like I don't like doing that. But we got bent steering. So this is where I need some indication of the damage. I'm going to crash here, aren't I? I'm going to crash for sure. Now I've got heavy damage, as I was expecting my damage.
You've got a track limit violation.
Okay, so the Lambo's pretty good. Lambo's pretty good. Okay, let's try a different GT3 car. Because I do like my GT3s. 911, let's try 911. I think, didn't I struggle with this in Germany? Reasonable crash out, yeah. Can you see every car? I can see every car here. I don't know if they're adding some for day one or not. Zero, I'm just happy to see more racing games this year. Yep, it's always a good thing, I think. I couldn't see a damage tab. I've scrolled all the way through. I've scrolled all the way through. Davidson, you got to slow down. You did ignore it. Yeah, I need to move. That's me. I need to move it under the mirror. I thought I was moving the mirror a little bit. How much do you think is a Fanatec Clubsport GT cockpit? 800. I think this is a different car. I must have been driving the Cup car in Germany. Yeah, look. Oh.
Clear of the pits.
This sounds good. Nice gear shift. Very different to the Lambo. It's much more pronounced here. Yeah, we'll just scratch that. I have to say, the field of view here, I feel like is absolutely perfect. Like it's the same size as my wheel. IRL. That's what I'm thinking. Come at me, field of view, please. Yep, the car feels nice and heavy. So I knew then I couldn't turn in, so I just had to cut the corner. There's some cars like the AMG, I have no idea what the car was doing. This out of the box here is much better than the AMG. How much Black Friday will come off? I don't know, didn't it leak on Amazon? I shared something earlier today. Also, I would just buy Fanatec stuff off Amazon, given the issues Fanatec have had in previous years. I know a load of YouTubers will come out and be like, Fanatec Black Friday, buy, from the same thing we shilled 2 years ago and no one got anything. I would just buy it through Amazon. Same with the THRUSTMASTER T598, £364 on Amazon for a direct drive bundle. It's pretty insane. This car feels heavy. This car feels much heavier than the AMG in a nice way. In a kind of like, oh, I understand it, I can feel weight. I can feel load, I can feel weight transfer. Sending it. So don't turn in there. Oh, he's cut me up. He's made me look silly there. I'll move. I'll cut back. The Porsche feels good. Porsche feels good. I must have been driving the Cup car in Germany. feels heavy and like I can control it. I think the handling maybe looks worse, ironically, because I can feel the car. So I'm like, when I'm over sending it into the corners, I'm letting the car do its thing, so I can feel it. And I do love the multi-class stuff. This is really cool. But you gotta go, bro. You gotta go. You gotta go. No, no, no. No, no. You can't wait there, man. I feel like my brake bias is maybe a little bit too to the front, is it? Come on, man. Like, this doesn't work. Like, if you're going to do multi-class, it's got to be able to overtake. But obviously the AI, and I'm sure the AI in the day one patch is going to turn into Skynet, they would say. But I don't believe it, because I think AI is quite difficult to do. And they've had quite a long time to work on the AI. They've had quite a long time, it shouldn't come past a few days. Like, that's broken to me. Why is that car just chilling there? Is that just going to end up in a queue? Do we have another queue ahead of us? Oh no, I think we do have another queue ahead of us. Let's not bring a hypercar day to Monza, whatever we're called here. Yes, I'm struggling with the handling of the car a bit more, but the force feedback is a lot better. The force feedback's a lot better. I feel like in fact, I might even try and do some... Where's my ride height? I might try and do less rake. Why is that corner weight so different? Okay, just do the ride height. Okay. I might just see what it's like with a flatter ride height. Not sure I'm paying £90 for this. I agree, it's a lot to ask for £90. I mean, how much does £90 get you an iRacing subscription? Try lower arms. Yeah, but I don't think anyone's... I mean, I think with my instant gaming link that I'm not really pushing, I'm pretty sure it's a lot cheaper than that. I think I will push it after tomorrow though. I'll say, look, everything's out there. If you want to buy it, here's what I think is one of the cheapest ways. If you want to help me out as well. Imagine we've just fixed the setup. Alright. Into the race we go. I really can't, in this game, I can't look at chat and drive. And I honestly feel like if you see me stream Gran Turismo before, or like even Evo, I can kind of drive down the straight and I can look at the chat and be okay. And I genuinely think it has something to do with the force feedback, as well as me just being terrible.
Not ideal, mate. They're gonna be massive.
I need to get another monitor and put it like here, so I'm just like looking up. Opinions of the cars themselves aside, do you feel connected? Some of them I don't, some of them I do. The AMG I definitely don't. And I think the Aston was pretty bad as well. Set a course to rally yet. Why you don't get a penalty for that? You either got to eat that last sausage, not at all. To me, this looks like an old build of the game. How can you say it looks like an old build? Like, on what basis does it look like an old build? To me, that sounds like copium. Like, oh yeah, so I'll build that. But let me know if I've missed something. But I've reviewed quite a lot of stuff. I reviewed Assetto Corsa Rally recently. I reviewed Rennsport recently, all pre-access stuff, and I've never once thought like, oh well, this is old code. This doesn't make any sense to me. The Legend Brianza. I am interested to see what happens with the it's definitely Coke, there we go. I mean, I totally get it. If anyone's pre-ordered the game, you're going to want to, like... I've been there so many times. Yeah? Remember, I pre-ordered Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown? And I was like, okay, I'm sure it's going to be, like, really good, though. So, because I'm invested. So I totally get it. And there'll also be people that didn't pre-order it, they're like, yeah, I'm so glad I didn't. And I think it's just better for all of us if we're like, you know, in the scheme of things, it's just a game. Some of us have pre-ordered it, some of us haven't, some of us are reviewing it. Let's just talk like objectively about it. And hopefully we can match our expectations with reality. Alright. Porsche's... I was going to say was coming alive, and I binned it. But I think that the Porsche, the force feedback feels kind of cleared up there. I want to go into the Aston, into the Vantage, because that's the first car we tried, and I really didn't like it. So let's try the Aston. Sikorsky pre-order, don't fear, just embrace it. You sound like you're getting ready to do like a bungee jump or something. I've paid for this. Let's just embrace it now. I think that Porsche could be fun though. I mean, the Assetto Corsa Evo Porsche Cup is very fun to drive. It's a very fun car. The beta, they said there'll be a day one patch. Yeah, and I say if you subscribe to my channel now, you will win the lottery tomorrow. Also, the other reason I'm a little bit skeptical of that is I feel like, and again, all credit to Project Motor Racing and the publisher, I think it's really commendable how they've just given a key and said, do whatever you want to do, just don't give a number, just don't give it a review number, but otherwise do whatever you want to do. I think that's massively commendable. But I'm skeptical about this day one thing because I feel like I would have been told by the developer and publisher, like, this is what's coming in. I haven't got, my PS5 code doesn't work for some reason. So. Right, let's see in the Aston. Claiming the stream elements bonus.
You're clear.
Oh, it's yeah. Well, wait for the tyres to cool up. But there's already stuff happening that I just can't feel. But wait for the tyres to warm up. I don't think it's a get out of clause though, case like, oh, your tyres are cold. Like, I think you should still feel what's going on when your tyres are cold. You should just have less grip available. They just said, I just got an email. I haven't been sent a reviewer's guide or anything. That's why I give them massive credit. They said, here's your key. Do whatever you want to do. Just please don't give a review number until, I think, Tuesday. It crashed. And it's not one of my crashes. So, yeah. It's very open. It's very open from both sides. I'm not being paid. And I'm not being told to say anything, not say anything. 7.9 update for the game was Xbox done today? I don't know. Are they going to implement radar? I don't know, but I think the game would be better for radar. I will day one some things that are bad, but I also feel like people will the anti-hype train. Yeah, sometimes the hype train goes in strange directions. You've got anti-hype or pro-hype. Rensport became very much a pure anti-hype train. And Project Motor Racing, it feels like there's two trains running on the same track towards each other. One's like a massive hype train and one's like a massive anti-hype train. And tomorrow we're going to see what's happening. And I'm saying a lot of people are going to be very disappointed by this game. And I think a lot of people are going to enjoy this game. And I think it's not going to be uniform. It's not going to be for me, Assetto Corsa Rally, I'm surprised that there's some controversy about it. Because I feel like maybe it's PC specs or something. But I feel like Assetto Corsa Rally, pretty much everyone who's on that on a round wheel should be having a lot of fun. Subject to performance. Welcome, Jace. What's it like with no TCS? Well, it depends on the cars. You wouldn't drive these GT3s with no TCS. This or Evo? I think that's a great question. That's a great question and not enough people are asking. Because Evo is a lot cheaper compared to this, isn't it? I just think Evo, I don't know what they're doing with the multiplayer side of things. I really don't think it's a good path to go down. Anyone cutting about in the lobbies? They know I'm online. They know I'm online, so they're like, just gonna hide. Okay, let's try some different. We've done quite a few. Shame about that, because I wanted to spend more time in it, but okay. Let's drive the Porsche because I know I like driving the Porsche. Right, this is a fun car to drive. I want to do this. See, I think this car is going to show up the AI. I think this car is going to show up the AI. If I do this at Lime Rock, this should be a fantastic combination. Why don't I just turn off practice? There we go. iRacing Arcade. iRacing Arcade. So disclaimer, I actually worked on Circuit Superstars. I'm in the so iRacing Arcade is like a sequel, so I am biased on that one. But I also, what I'm going to tell you is not biased. Because I just feel like calling it iRacing is unhelpful. I think iRacing Arcade is, the people are going to come into it thinking it's iRacing, and it's completely not. Evo's not built out, but on this computer from day one, I've been able to go into cars like the M2 and the Porsche Cup car and have a really fun time. And with the stuff that's been added, like the Caterham and the Ferrari F1 car, I've been able to just have good, like, time trialing. Right, let's see what this is about.
Didn't set a time, so we'll be at the back.
Your brother was a THRUSTMASTER on PS5, so you can finally challenge him. Yeah. It does feel like a big game. It feels like there's a lot of content, which is nice, because the thing is with the early access games, they don't have a lot of content, so it's nice it has a lot of content. My prediction is this is going to show up the AI. But let's see, I've got to be fast enough to catch them anyway. Yeah, Formula Legends, another one. I should really cover Formula Legends, but so many games. See there, I can feel the wheel pulling me in, which is just really nice. Like, whoever's done the force feedback on this car, I think has done a really good job. And it feels a little bit dampened, and maybe things are happening a little bit slower, and maybe, if I want to be really cynical, maybe there's not as much being simulated on this car as on a modern hypercar. And maybe it's some of these additional things that are being simulated that are causing a problem. I just feel like I'm going to get taken out by the AI. Let's mow a bit of that grass, why not?
Track limit violation. Officials are aware.
Yeah, I have no idea where that AI is. It's an extremely claustrophobic game. I remember Le Mans Ultimate when it came out, it had no radar. Maybe it's also because I don't seem to be able to move that virtual... I don't seem to be able to move that virtual mirror in the middle. But also in Le Mans Ultimate, the AI kind of knows you're there. Whereas here, it's almost like the AI just... It's not aggressive, it's just stupid. That said, this is quite a good experience. It's quite a good experience. You can absolutely monster these curves. Like, you can't monster these curves in iRacing. And I drive a lot of cars around Lime Rock Park in iRacing. It's one of my, like, testing grounds. Should join your team in LMU 24 Hours Le Mans. Yeah, the AI does feel like it's maybe blind, is the best way to put it. You know. Also, I feel like the AI should, you know, I'm kind of the lead character here. Like, if I'm anywhere near putting a nose up the inside, I feel like the AI should be hyper aware to me. Even if that's a bit unrealistic. Maybe that's controversial, but that's different views on what a single player experience would be like. If I put my nose up the inside here, I want the AI to really know about it. Maybe he backed up there at the end. I would say it's a little bit boring. Look at the AI here. It's just a bit boring. They're not cutting about and taking each other out, and you know, it's actually very sterile. And it makes it very boring. It's almost like I'm in a Black Mirror episode or something. So it's a really fun car to drive. Actually, it's one of the most connected cars to drive in Project. In fact, maybe the most connected car to drive in Project Motor Racing. How long have we been streaming for? I disagree. Imagine you're online and these are online drivers. Yeah, but I made my point very poorly. They just completely ignore you, I think, a lot of the time. Yeah, he did outplay me, to be fair. So that car, the force feedback feels very connected. MX-5 feels connected. Let's try this one. Now we're getting to Project Motor Racing. Is it similar to Forza? No. Forza, the cars feel very light. Feels like you can... I remember on all the stuff on the Logitech G Challenge, does some crazy combinations. Like they always put like the most powerful McLarens on tight circuits, and you end up having to do all sorts of stuff to still rotate the cars because you can. I mean, this is cool. Loads of different cars here. That's nice. Feels fast for a limiter.
Clear of pit lane.
Sounds nice. Looks nice. Oh, sounds... Oh, yeah. What did I think of Forza Motorsport 8? I think it's a massive missed opportunity. I think it's got a great car list.
That timing's live.
I think the whole thing about the car RPG thing, and that's very forgiving, this handling. I really gave Forza Motorsport a shot with the online. I spent a lot of time with it. Let's go into the race.
We're at the back, mate. Didn't turn up.
Thing is with AMS2, AMS2 will never be a new game again. So AMS2 has the IMSA license. They've done all the reorganisation on Steam. They keep bringing out new graphics update. They did right. You know, I cover them every week on the Sim Racing Show, but they'll never be a new game. So I feel like it will never have that big, like, marketing push. Got to they might need to do something with the handling about that downshift rotation. Just feel like it's going to be massively exploited. That's my hunch. I mean, this is less boring because the cars have all different liveries. What were we driving before? I don't know. Maybe it's just view or something. It just feels a bit more like interesting. Some cars have got wings, big wings. I don't know what this is, but it's, oh my god.
You committed a track
cool.
limit violation.
It's cool to see the damage here. That's nice. The graphics are really good for me. Yeah, this is fun. This is nice. I don't know how it's going to work online with BOP and stuff like that in this category though. Is it going to be one make or is it going to be some BOP? I can't imagine they're going to be able to BOP stuff. Given that the setup's very difficult by car anyway. Yeah, but this is great. I'm really liking this. Oh, bro, you can't, mate. Tell you what, some of that, pal. Now look at our cars, we're all bashed up. Oh, have some of that. What a move that is. Get this done. Get this done around the outside. Get this done. Get this done. Get this done. Yes. Easy. That's a move, that is. Where are you, mate? iRacing would be dead. So I quite like the fact. I like the fact it's more forgiving. Because to me, this is more of a casual game. Just going to push you along if you're going to brake. Yeah, the handling is very, very, very inconsistent. I feel like I'm doing my duty by letting you know that. It's a little bit ping pong, isn't it? Right, that's a lot of fun. That car's fun. I like that a lot. I had no idea what to expect with that, but I liked it a lot. It's very forgiving, I think. It's a very forgiving sim, and I think when you see me driving when I can't really drive the cars, is because I don't feel connected to the car. So that was fun. Bit slow, but don't mind that. All right then. All right. Okay. The big dog. Let's see. Welcome Jordan. Welcome Racer. New rally track. Yeah. Assetto Corsa Racing. 2 hours we streamed for. Wow. By the way, if you haven't seen it after this stream, go check out my Black Friday video I just posted. Found the biggest discounts. Basically, Acertech is on a mad one. I don't know what Acertech are thinking. Well, I know what they're thinking because I read their financial reports. They need cash, so they're selling off stock at 40%.
Clear of pit lane.
Okay. This is a completely different force feedback experience. I can feel the car like all the way. I can feel it swapping direction as well. This is a much better handling. If I didn't know any better, okay? If I didn't know any better, I would say that this game was originally GT Revival and was going to be more of like a GTR style game with classic cars like this, right? And then at some point there were licenses up for grabs, IMSA license, whatever, and they saw Le Mans Ultimate during development with WEC and all the hypercars and GTEs, and they thought, oh, we'll get on that with modern cars. And if I didn't know better, I'd say that the modern cars have been added later, and some of these cars have had more time. That's what I'd say. Let's race this thing. We've never really driven it, but let's just race it. What do we think about that theory of yours?
So I hope you're ready for it.
if I wanted to do a crazier theory, doing an even crazier theory,
Need a good start.
the
Replicating the nose
hypercars
clean in turn 1.
and GT3s were originally going to be DLC, but because they didn't have maybe enough time to fully test them all, they thought we can't charge for this separately, so we'll bundle it in. That's an even crazier theory. Matty's already pre-ordered. I think there's plenty of enjoyment to be had in this game. I just think it's not. I'm really loving. This is one of my most favourite periods of reviewing anything on this channel. I think the thing is, it's like if every car was consistent, we're talking about maybe the best racing game that's out right now. But because of the lack of consistency, it's just a lottery. So it's more like it's not more like, that's not right, but there's a frustration of like how good it could be.
You've got a track limit violation.
I would say this car feels like way too easy to drive and how it should be. Like, does anyone know how much horsepower this car has? Because this should be really difficult. Do I like this or LMU? I've said before, I really like LMU for the licensing of the drivers and the teams. Like, that's a big deal for me, given everything I do in the motorsport side of things. I think for a lot of people it won't matter, but that's a big draw. But I remember when LMU came out, and you know there was a lot of hype, and I was like, not sure. But it's got better now. It's a lot better. Whoa, 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 whoa. Anyway, this car feels very connected.
Track limit violation confirmed.
Feels like you can
officials.
feel the weight transfer, and it's kind of like you can bend your limit. You don't lose it. But to me, it feels like there's some sort of hidden traction control or something. Ah, psych. Okay, let's try something else. Oh, only 600 horsepower. Those days was big day, wasn't it? Do I not like LMU online? I do. So I haven't done that much. I've done nowhere near as much as iRacing. I don't like the fact how when I go in there, it's like a load of it's hidden behind Race Control and Race Control Plus. It just puts me off. Right, let's try the GTO. This should be a real handful. Oh, here we go. Okay, 720 newton meters of torque. Kilowatts. I don't want kilowatts. Right. Okay. Let's see this. Oh yeah, MC12 1D. James only rate in VR. AMS2 is in the primary. AMS2 is the connoisseur sim. David, I don't agree with the hypercar thing. I think they got some funding, an IMSA license. Oh, Matty doesn't have a PC. Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, it's people that pre-order it. You keep these developers going, and the developers want to make good racing games, so I think it's commendable. What's that orange light? Is that a big shift light?
Clear of the pits.
Is that just one big shift light? Whoa! These cars sound a lot better than the... Oh! What's this? Why is there a little bird in my bonnet? again, it feels like this. It handles better at the force feedback's better at the box. It feels like there's some kind of dampening, or maybe there's something they're simulating with GT3s or hypercars that just is messing things up a little bit.
That timing's live. Make it count.
Oh, missed it. Alright. Oh, what's my dude doing over there? Right, let's see where that puts us.
Bad luck, mate.
The irony is that I really like driving GT3s. Hypercars here, but I like driving GT3s. Whereas if you come into Project Motor Racing and you never touch the modern stuff, you're probably going to have a much better experience. Yeah, Matty can't wait to simulate the FIA2. Yeah, exactly. I think so. It seems that what the GT revival part for me seems just more coherent. I like this as well. This is a nice touch. Oh, the Cougar's there. I mean, the force feedback here is so good. Like, it feels like a different game to some of the other cars. So, a bit of rotation there. Corner as fast as these guys. Getting battered here. Oh, maybe the brakes are better than I think. It's good balance. It's where I can find the time, I'll be able to find catch them. Alright, that's good fun. That's good fun. That's good fun. Oh, every car is so different. I'll drive this one. I think this is the core experience of Project Motor Racing, is like exploring the cars. Front left was dying. Was it really hot? Which car are you going to be driving first? Reckon you could do a review? I can do. I have a G923. I've got a T248R. Alright. Tequila Patron cars. I don't remember. I think what would be cool, by the way, is when you drive a car like this from this era, that Silverstone is like of this era, and the graphics change. Like, unironically, the Crew Motorfest does that. I think it's great. Like, everything is period. It changes the whole world. Let's go. It doesn't rev that high at all, does it? Is that right? Does it not really rev? I think my RCZ revs higher than this. I mean, I do have the GT line RCZ, so it's understandable. Again, force feedback here, absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Yeah, force feedback is just broken in some cars. Especially the modern stuff. Gonna be a crash hit. Alright, let's go into a race in that. Can you upgrade the cars? I don't think so, actually. That'd be an interesting conceit. The Audi. You hope your i7 700. I'm on the 13900, so a couple of gens ahead. Okay, it's over 100 degrees. I was surprised I was leaning on it that much.
Ready, mate.
Yeah, but he should have been ready. Northampton. I'm pretty sure Silverstone don't mess around with their licensing. Like, they know what they're doing. So, fair play for Project Motor Racing for being so old school. You know, maybe with damage off, or maybe, I don't think you can do just visual damage, but maybe with just visual damage it's going to be a lot of fun, like all this bumping, because you don't seem to get spun out. So to me it seems a bit inconsistent that you're very likely to have contact, but the contact is very severe. That doesn't add up in my book. Like, to me, it feels impossible to drive without contact.
Race officials call a track limit violation.
Or you can do one. Yeah, but Brendan, I have a job, like, you know, and it's not even YouTube. I can't be sitting around spending hours setting up this car with the force feedback. Like, it should be done out of the box. It's my view on that. Otherwise, I may as well be on BeamMG. What's this ahead of it? Is that a Ginetta? What's that one? What's Simon Cowdell in? See, David? No, I don't think it has the old Silverstone. It has the full layout. I'm doing this circuit because this is the layout that I drive in real life, so it's kind of cool to This is really cool. Oh, binned it. Okay, that's fun. That's fun. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. I don't think Project Motor Racing can be this GT revival bit, which to me seems great, and also ACC with GT3 Simulator, and also Le Mans Ultimate with all the hypercars. I don't think it can. I think it's stretched too thin. I think it's stretched too thin, and I'm sure they had design. They had design discussions about, look, can we do all the GT3s? Because they have pretty, apart from Ferrari, they've got all the GT3s and they've got all the hypercars. I honestly think if you take out the GT3s and hypercars from this game, to me it's a much more understandable game. And I think it's a much more consistent game. Let's race something at night. Let's race something at night. So what class haven't we done? Oh, okay, let's do these then. Let's go in the Jag. Are we ready, everyone? 11 o'clock at night. Okay. This should be good fun. Mid-Ohio. I'm kind of sticking to circuits I know quite well, so I can drive it. We did Nürburgring night last night, and it was really good fun. In fact, I should make a video of it. Didn't we do it in the rain twice? Wasn't it really good? In fact, I don't even think I spoke through it. I was having so much fun. Let's just go straight into racing. Ah, Klaus. Man like Klaus.
Focus on the lights.
Oh.
Track limit violation. Officials noted it.
I think that's when it's at its best. I think it's at its best when you're having these like emotive experiences. Sean, I agree with your theory about the focus on GTR. I believe when Giants join, the scene is when G3s and G4s and Hypercar last minute. Yeah. Honestly, I'm pretty good at this YouTube stuff, I think, by now. And this reviewing thing. I think I called a lot right with Project Motor Racing. And I still think a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun with the game. I don't think it's as binary as like, this is terrible, this is great. And I think that's why I'm so interested in it, is because it's kind of hard to grasp what Project Motor Racing is, because it's trying to be everything. Yeah, GT3 racing, yeah, hypercars, yeah, revival. Yeah, we'll fix everything day one. So it's being bullish and trying to be everything. But when you really get into it and you unpeel it and you see where it's vulnerable, where is it vulnerable? It's vulnerable on the force feedback in the modern cars. It's very inconsistent. You could easily drive this game for 3 hours and have terrible experiences, or you could drive this game for 3 hours and have great experiences. And I think the odds are you're gonna have better experiences if you're in the older stuff. But I think there's still good things to be had in new stuff as well. Like doing nighttime spa in hypercars, multi-class in the Alpine, I think would be a lot of fun. But yeah, I think also it's easy for influencers to be to. There's two things influencers can do. One, they can be like, I'm just gonna destroy this for the sake of being controversial. So not for sake of controversial. I'm gonna destroy it because it's gonna be so controversial it's gonna get a lot of clicks. I'm not saying anyone's done that because I don't watch other people's videos, but I can imagine people doing that because it's quite an easy thing to do here. I'm just gonna be controversial and get loads of clicks. That's one thing you can do. The other thing is influencers could do is they could just shill it, and the top line of description and pinned link is here's my pre-order code. So people could be like, there's so much interest in it, I'm just gonna shill it. So there's two things you can do. I don't know what other people have done. But I feel like what we should do, and the most interesting thing anyway, is like what actually is Project Motor Racing. Right, I need to change my baby, so I'll get in the stream there. So I'll end the stream there. I'll make a video where I'll sum up my thoughts, like a little 10-minute video or something, and I'll schedule it to come out tomorrow morning. So if you please hit a like on the and please hype my videos as well. Like YouTube has a hype thing on mobile, so sad face when my video is not getting hyped, because when I say hype them, we all remember and they get like loads of hype points, like thousands of points. And yeah, if there's any mods left, or it might be first time description, please, if you haven't already, please vote for me in the Autosport Awards, where I've been nominated alongside Max Verstappen and Lando Norris, which is insane, as Creator of the Year. So I'm trying my best for you guys. I've got some interesting proposals out there to do some really cool stuff. I want to keep pushing things forward, but yeah, I am going to change my baby, and I will see you tomorrow. I may go live again tomorrow on it. We will see. But thank you so much for joining. Really hope you found it helpful. That's the most important thing. And I hope you've enjoyed hanging out. I appreciate you. Have a very